Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. How's everybody doing? We're getting ready to go live into Rumble. So we're live on Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, and anywhere else you get your podcast, as well as the Huddle Sports Network on Roku and Amazon Fire. So, I have a quick question. This many teams right here Lions, Packers, Vikings, 49ers, Rams, Buccaneers, Panthers, Bills, Chiefs, and Broncos all did not make moves, and all are in playoff contention. Are they all not serious about trying to win a Super Bowl? It makes no sense to hear that. That means these guys were ready to be stand pat and sign people as they need them. Good afternoon, Fred. Good to see you, Fruity. Fred Peterson. So, Howie Roseman's all in. It's not my show channel. It's under Ken the Bear Fan on Rumble. But you got to get the Huddle app, network app. It's an app on your Roku and Amazon Fire Stick, and then you can watch it on TV and still comment through your phone. Because you can't do comments on the TV. No different than if you're watching YouTube on the TV, unless you got like a Bluetooth keyboard that works. Billy, I kind of agree with you, but I'm not going to say that. Robbie, good to see you, brother. It was good to see the Pittsburgh defense finally play like the Pittsburgh defense. Ricky Sakat, how you doing, brother? The Bears lost a rotational player and traded for a rotational player. I think they probably could have got the same player out of free agency off somebody's practice squad that wouldn't have cost them draft compensation. That's just me. Calling the Steelers mediocre and haven't beaten one good team. Yeah, I know. Last time I checked, Steelers are leading the division, and the Bears are still in third place. Yeah, they don't do well versus the run. So it depends on who gets free, and it also depends on the play of the line play, especially after Graham Glasgow basically is out for most of the season, if not all of it, with a broken leg. That's a huge blow. Not Grant Glasgow, Christian Mahogany. He had been playing well the last two games until he didn't. But thank you for tuning in, Billy. I appreciate you. Good to see the lights already up, Ricky Sakat. You know how you are. But we did sign somebody yesterday. We signed Jack Conley to the practice squad. We also got rid of a few people. He's an offensive lineman. We released Justin Herron and Kenny Yeboah with injury settlement. The Panthers got rid of Hooker yesterday. And the Commanders' Franki Luvu was issued a suspension uh, on Monday. He appealed it and he got it reduced. He is going to be able to play this weekend, but he got just $100K fine. Fuck that guy. After what he did to Goff a couple years ago or last year in the season. Yeah, Marcus Mariota, when he was a Titan and had King Henry, he torched the Lions, but we also had a coach by the name of Matt Patricia at the time. So I don't think it'll be that bad. Because he just does. Scary Terry still might be out, according to what I read. He's not 100%. Dan Campbell on the trade deadline. Things that were popped up, but there was nothing that I would say enough to be noteworthy. Some intriguing options, but not good enough. So it had to do with what people were able to compensate with. Dallas was able to compensate a player in a first round pick for Quentin Williams. Great deal. They traded for a guy that was barely playing on the Bengals offense, awful defense in Logan Wilson. He may have been a team captain, but he was rotational. Lately, he was a solid tackler and was good a couple years ago. But this year, if you didn't run into him, you weren't tackled. He's solid when he gets his hands on you. He's lost a step. He's getting older. So that was kind of a deal. But the Quentin Williams deal, giving up Mozzie Smith in a first, that was great. Yeah. You know, JJ did have a great game, but it wasn't perfect. He did throw a pick on a bad pass to Jalen Naylor, I believe it was at the time, or Joshua Addison. I can't remember who dropped the ball. But Terrion Arnold made a great play. He was in position. Broski, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, JB?
I'm fine. You know, I was just making the point that there was a bunch of teams that are in playoff contention that did not make moves yesterday. They didn't trade for anybody.
Yeah. Some of those teams I feel made moves in the offseason though, but yeah, I mean, it's teams that draft well and like I said, some of these teams probably made moves in the offseason. You shouldn't feel pressured to make moves at the deadline. But yeah, and a lot of it's about developing your young players, which as the season goes along, they should get better. Getting people back from injury, that should help teams too. So, yeah, man.
I reported last week that the Lions were talking about to the Saints, to the Dolphins, and the Titans already. And then this weekend, after Christian Mahogany's injury, they reached back out to the Titans and to the Cleveland Browns. And my feelings is they were trying to either get Zeitler back or Joel Bitonio from the Browns to replace Mahogany. But I think they wanted too much in draft compensation because they think we are desperate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, this could be complete. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just saying, even Dan Campbell this morning, there were things that popped up, but nothing that I would say was enough to be noteworthy, which means they wanted more in compensation than the Lions were willing to give up, is what I'm hearing.
No, I hear that. Yeah, I mean, personally, I am a little surprised the Lions didn't go after some, O-line help a little bit more. And honestly, I thought they could possibly use another safety just with Kirby Joseph, man. I don't know, man. That knee might be a bigger issue than people are leading on to right now.
He's been practicing, but he hasn't been a full practice one yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see how it plays out, man. But hey, at this point, it is what it is, man. People have their teams now.
And I tried explaining this to some of the other casual fans. The injuries we have now will not be here at the end like last time. They are not all season ending. The Mahogany one is concerning because he may not be back for the season. But we did pick up, like I said, Jack. Let me read that name again. Jack Conley, I think it was, an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I mean, I read. I mean, we'll see the injury report come out today. But I mean, I read that Sewell and Decker aren't going to practice at all this week. And both are.
I heard it was
there's a chance they don't play.
I heard it was rest for them too, is what Dan Campbell said. He said it's up in the air. The decision will be made Saturday.
Yeah.
Broski, how did you like that Bears versus Bengals game? That's what Billy Tortolot is asking.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. You got to take it with a grain of salt because, statistically, the Bengals are literally the worst defense in the league. But for me personally, I'm just looking at the Bears take a big step forward as an organization this season. I don't have expectations for them to win the division or the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So seeing two rookies, Kyle Managa and Colston Loveland have their breakout games. That was my favorite part of it.
Great. As it should be.
Yeah.
And we saw something that we didn't normally see. That Bears defense looked awful. Say what you want.
Dude.
That was an awful game by them.
Bears fans will be in denial too, most of them. And I'm just like, they're like 92 turnovers. I'm like, dude, I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you the only way they can stop another team is if they get a turnover, because that's how soft their defense is. And since you need proof, go see Joe Flacco and his 58-year-old ass. He just threw for a career high, almost 500 yards. Like, come on. Like, what other proof do you need? I'm sorry, I said 58. I think he's more like 62.
Breaking news. The Lions just designated Miles Frazier to return from the pup. He will begin for practicing today. That's huge news. That's our rookie we got in the 5th round, who was supposed to be a 2nd rounder. So I'm happy to hear this because with the injury to Mahogany, he had a higher grade than Mahogany the previous season coming out of college. And this might be a huge help to our anemic O-line.
Yeah, I actually mentioned that with Russ the other day. Miles Frazier was an excellent pick. To me, if he wasn't injured, he'd be like a plug and play starter. And I feel he has more upside than Mahogany. So yeah, we'll see what he can do. We'll see how quick he can get up to speed, and the coach feels comfortable with him enough to put him out there.
Yeah, Mahogany was a great guard at BC when he came out last year as a rookie. The previous year in the ACC, you know who his good defenses he faced was? Clemson's defense wasn't that good. They had a down year that year, remember?
Yeah.
It was
the ACC,
it was Miami.
Right.
And then I can't remember who it was that gave Miami fits all year. It wasn't at Syracuse? That was it for good defenses?
Yeah. I mean, you're playing in the ACC. It's not like playing in the SEC or Big Ten, that's for sure.
Right. But the fact he held those two guys in check because he didn't give up a sack all season, those two games in particular are what I paid attention to. So
Yeah.
the fact he didn't give up a sack, but he was called a natural right guard due to his shorter right leg. Remember all
Yeah.
that stuff that came out?
Yeah, that was some weird stuff. I do remember that. I do remember Mahogany. Didn't he have like some kind of like mental issues too, or something like that? If I'm not
No,
mistaken, like
that was not him. That was Manu, because Manu was
was
also
it?
picked at and
Okay,
he
I thought it
the
might have
year
been
before.
Mahogany.
No, it wasn't Mahogany. It was Manu who had just started playing football in college. He really didn't know it. He actually was a basketball player before he became a football player in Canada.
Okay, yeah, I just thought it was like a mental health psychiatric thing for Mahogany, but maybe I'm just wrong. But I was going to say
No,
Frazier reminds me of that Donovan Jackson who the Vikings drafted out of Ohio State. Like to me, they're very similar players, and they're both just like NFL ready, high upside. You know, great pick by Brad Hunt.
so he's asking you the same thing that Ken was asked this morning, because Ken
Was it?
said, "Why didn't Ryan Poles make that call at Cruz and me? Poles don't care to make
Nah.
us look good." I think they had to do with the compensation. Look what they gave
Yeah,
up. Didn't they give up this year first, the next year's first, and Mozzie Smith to get him for
yeah,
gambling?
Billy, to answer that from another angle as well, like you have to look how the Bears are kind of built right now, and where they're at in their development as a team. So they're more than two players or a couple players away from being a contender. So, and
But
if you look how their defensive, oh no, go ahead, JB.
that's exactly what I said to Ken last night
Yeah,
on driving to the
and
top.
it,
If you were
and to
one
kind of
player away, you make that type of deal. If you're not,
yeah,
you can't pass. And let's face it, we've all said it. The Lions are not quite one player away.
yeah. And here's another, just like a layer to add on for the Bears, like how their D line is structured. Like they have difficulty stopping the run. They already signed an undersized defensive tackle in Grady Jarrett and gave him money, 290 pounds. They drafted Shamar Turner, who's like a 300 pounds, 295-pound defensive tackle. Gerv Dexter is like a pass rush defensive tackle. And they have old Billings there. So, like, really adding another 300-pound pass rushing defensive tackle is not going to help them stop the run. As good as he is, he can be moved. Like people can move him around and run on him. I feel Bears really need like they need like a mountain of a man. Like yeah, I'm not saying quite as big as Ted Washington because we really don't find guys that big anymore. But they need like a guy. I don't care if he gets 14 tackles for the whole season, but just a guy who takes up two blockers and cannot be moved on the line. Like that's what the Bears really, really need right now.
And here, Omnipo, I am doing great. Thank you. Fred, I'm content right now with not going out and getting these majority of the idiotic Lions fans are screaming for. The last time we did that, Trey Flowers, the defensive end, that was a nightmare of a contract. And that's something that Lions fans don't take into consideration. We gave Trey Flowers at that time the most money of any defensive end ever in free agency. Remember that when we signed him to that massive $90 million deal? And that was because we were so bad with Matt Patricia. We had to overpay to get people here. Right now, I think they're looking for somebody that wants to play that's a good player, and they just haven't had them come yet. Does that make sense to you, Broski?
It does. Again, though, I am still surprised the Lions didn't try to make a move. Either a more substantial addition in the offseason or one at the deadline. And honestly, dude, like it's one of those things. I still feel their cornerback room needs some help. Like Sauce on the Lions would have been freaking insane. Yes, I know they gave up 2 first rounds for him, but wow. They would have been later
I
first
agree
round
with
picks,
that.
obviously, too. But
Right.
man, that would have the way Hutch and Al Qaeda are what do you guys call them? AQM or whatever.
AQM.
Yeah, those two guys is the way they're playing and getting pass rush and you already have good safeties. Hopefully, for the Lions' sake, Kirby, it doesn't miss too much time. But dude, adding that cornerback would have been nasty time.
Right. But Rock Ya-Sin has been a kind of a breath of fresh air, taking over some of those snaps. Arthur Mallet has made some plays, but you can tell why he's a practice squad player, why he's rotational and comes in and spot start. So Eric Hallett is a UDFA that's still developing. Nick Whiteside is the one that surprised me the most out of all of those practice squad guys he added to the active roster.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
that?
mean, in the NFC North in general, I mean, nobody really made a move at the deadline too. Which, what do you think about that, JB?
We did have Christian Mahogany. He just got hurt. And that's why we added Miles Frazier because we knew something was up with Ragnow, but we didn't have a definitive decision. He was debating whether he was going to play or retire all offseason, and they said they knew that in February. So that's why they went for people that was trained at center, may not have had snaps, in like Tate Ratliff.
Yeah, and to kind of answer Fred's question, because definitely been going back and forth with Fred in some chats today. I mean, Brett Holmes really, we'll see how Terry and Arnold pans out, but I mean, he did sign, DJ Reed as a free agent. He signed Amik Robertson as a free agent.
Which is the last year of his contract right now. This is the last year of
exactly. So, but that's my whole point too. It's like, bringing in another cornerback like Sauce, I think that would have, that might have been like the move to make that nobody was talking about because everyone was like, oh, defensive end, left tackle. You know what I mean, for the Lions.
I think they had to do it with draft compensation, the 2 first. Even though it would have been great, two first. Brad's not the guy that does that.
Oh no, I hear you, man. I hear you.
The guy at the Colts does that, and I'm okay with that. Jerry Jones does it. Does Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson scream that that's now a contending defense for Dallas? Their secondary would have been better off with Sauce than Logan Wilson. But Terrion Arnold just got his first interception. So he's developing in this season. If you look through the first 4 weeks, he had given up the most yards of any quarterback in the league at that time. I think it was at 265. Do you know since that time he hasn't given up 100 yards in 4 games total? He's given up. I used to have a thing about it, and it was during that 2-week span just before all that other stuff went.
Okay, yeah. Billy makes another point, and he's making it about the Packers this time, about their tight end room.
Oh yeah,
out for the year. Yeah. I mean, and they ended the season in McManus. Yeah, I mean, I think their backup tight end, what is it, Musgrave? He has injury history as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, man. I don't know who's going to win the NFC North, to be completely honest.
No, because the draft compensation people were saying we're desperate, so they asked for too much. And I don't think he missed out because Miles Frazier just came off the PUP list. I just announced that. It's a brand new thing. It just happened right now while we were live. So I think that's why we didn't make that new move. It's because they knew yesterday Miles Frazier was coming off the PUP list and going to be practicing today. Yeah. That's a huge boost to the offensive line with a guy that was considered a plug-and-play starter in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, and they always have old reliable Dan Skipper who can start, pretty much at either tackle spot for a few games if needed.
Right.
Which he might have to this week.
And Coyote Alasika has not played bad when he's been in, when guys have gone off to get their breathers either. So He hasn't been great, but he hasn't been bad. I'm glad we don't play the world beaters, Carolina Panthers. Do the Bears? That place seems like a buzzsaw.
Oh no, the Bears don't play the Panthers this year. The Bears have actually. I wish they did because they spanked they beat the Panthers the last 2 years. They spanked them last year, but
I
no,
think
I
it
wish
was
they were playing here in Charlotte because I'd go to the game.
right. I figured you'd say that because I like Will, you're in Charlotte, so you would go to that game hands down.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
But also,
Yep.
don't the Panthers have one of the cheapest ticket prices in the league right now?
Oh yeah, yeah, like by far,
Uh,
for sure.
if Sauce Gardner plays like he did 2 years ago, yes. If it's like he's been playing all year, no, because everybody says, "Oh, he's only allowed 50% of his passes." I said, "Yeah, but he's getting burnt and giving up touchdowns this year, which he hasn't done." So,
Yeah, I'm
you know,
curious to see how.
I want to see
Oh
if
no, I'm
change
sorry.
locations does good for him. That's what I'm getting at.
That's
Sometimes it does,
exactly.
sometimes it don't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, it could be one of those situations where it's just a change of scenery, new organization. He's probably sick and tired of the Jets rebuilding every other year. The type of thing. So let's see. Let's see how he works. I mean, I think the Colts though, what they did is said, hey, we need to step it up on defense a little bit. For sure, our offense is kicking ass, but our defense needs some work, especially at cornerback. And I also think it indicates they think they have a legit shot at winning the whole thing this year. So they went all in.
AG fleeced them for Sauce. And that's what I thought because I thought Sauce was just playing good, not great. I'm not saying he's bad
Yeah,
because he does have pass defended. He doesn't have a single interception this year yet. So let's look at it on the big picture. He's giving up more yards when there is a completion because he's getting burned. He's giving up more
yeah,
touchdowns, something he normally didn't do. That's a big reason why the Jets defense has looked so bad. So I'm
yeah.
not I'm not convinced that's the over the top move for Indy yet until I see it on the field. If I see better results on the field and he starts playing like the Sauce Gardner his rookie year, where he didn't allow a single touchdown and what was it, the third least amount of yards in the league and was a Pro Bowler. They have a total of 5 first-round picks. They have 3 this year because the one they got from Dallas, whichever team is the lower pick, that's the one that goes to them. Not the later pick, the lower pick. Dallas only has 1 first-round pick instead of 3 now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Jets. I think they have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 drafts, and I think they have 2 or 3 second-round picks in the next draft too, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Because they got rid of Michael Carter, and they to the
yeah,
Eagles, putting Williams to
and
Dallas.
I mean for AG and this rebuild in the Jets, because I mean you can't look at it logically or and say they're not. If it's not a fire sale and they're not rebuilding, because they obviously are, it's going to come down to him finding his quarterback. I mean, it really is, which is not on the roster right now. So he's going to have to find that quarterback on and start building the trenches up too, man. Make sure that O line sound, make sure that D line is sound. I mean, that's how you rebuild, man.
JJ, do you think JJ McCarthy will last 7 weeks of the season without injury? Because he did look good versus the Lions, and if he will be able to be good this weekend, I am sick of Viking fans bashing him, saying he's a bust. Medically speaking, he's been a bust, but we haven't seen enough of him on the field to call him a bust. He's had 1 good game, 1 good full game. That's what he's had right now. So he's a rookie. There'll be growing pains. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to knock him. I'm not going to call him a bust because this is his first year starting. It's like a redshirt freshman year, correct?
Yeah, and what I can say about him, like I'm sold on the fact he does have the moxie, he does have the leadership skills, he does have the whatever you want to call it, QB awareness and instincts. Obviously the big question is durability. Can he stay on the field? which is a serious concern at this point. Against the Lions, let's not forget too, like he did start with a short field most of the time. And yes, he did make the plays and take advantage of it. He did lead a nice fourth quarter comeback against the Bears as well. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the wear and tear of playing a full 8 or 9 games so far. And yeah, let's see if he can last. I'd like to see him just play 4 games in a row first, and then I'll be like, okay, maybe there is something here. So we'll see.
I want to address this one. The Lions O-line is the problem. Combined, it hasn't been boring play calling. We've had one bad game, and everybody's calling it boring. We haven't had a bad game like this since week 1? Because even in the Chiefs game, the offense looked good. It just wasn't enough. Correct? So we called plays that was our bread and butter, stuff we've been doing all season. The screenplay to get on third down. The problem is we were doing it on 3rd and long where we struggled all year. Why? He doesn't stretch the field. So at the same time, there's been some inconsistencies in play calling, but that was stuff that was working all season. And it worked versus the Bucs defense, which is very good. So you can't have it one week and say, oh, wow, he looks great. He's doing great and blah, 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 blah. And then the next week come in and say, well, I think the problem is his play calling. Because that's like two opposite sides of the coin. Do you agree with that, Borski?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure like if I'm really sold on John Morton. It just seems like the running game's not getting going like it should, which I think is the catalyst for the offense. Lots of bubble screens and lots of just not enough running game. So is that all on John Morton? Who knows? It could be a combination of things. Some new guys on the O line. Whatever. But to me, I would just say this. I think the jury's still out. I really can't say definitively anyway that it's John Morton's fault or not. It could be, but it might not be.
But at the same time, with the same exact core players in Baltimore, and that I'm going to go to that because the only thing they were missing in Baltimore was didn't Kyle Hamilton play that game versus us, and he got hurt the next game? If I remember right, Marlon Humphrey.
I'm sorry, who's that?
Baltimore. When we played them in week 3, correct? That was right after the Bears. We played them on Monday Night Football, I believe it was. Kyle Hamilton was still in. Matabuke was out in the middle, and Roquan Smith was out. No, Roquan Smith was on the field. Sorry, it was Matabuke was on the field. Roquan Smith was on the field. Matabuke was out. And I said that was a huge blow to that defense because they can't stop the run without him. And it showed who's out for the season. But what did they do? They did stop the Bears running game. I still haven't figured that one out.
Well, I think the Bears are about to have a new sheriff in town as far as who their starting running back is. I think Managa is going to take Swift's starting job sooner rather than later. I've been calling that since they drafted him.
I understand that everybody's upset. If you can't run the ball, you can't have a good play action. We've seen
exactly.
Now in the games where we came out and started with the play action before the run, we had much better success. We didn't do that this time. We tried to run the ball first to establish the play action, which is what you do when you're unsure on what you're facing. Because let's face it, this was the first game that Minnesota had AVG back in the lineup with Blake Cashman, and that front 7 was intact. It was their first game like that. So Brian Flores opened up the blitz playbook and said, we're just going to run and zone blitz every down. And they basically did. I think they had a 72% blitz rate, which is unheard of in the NFL. So, but if we just started out with play action to make the defense be honest and respect the run game before it started, I think we'd have been better off. But because they didn't know, they went another way with it. And let's face it, we ran the ball 20 times and only got 65 yards. That's awful. That's not a normal thing for us.
I hear that, man. JB, you mind if I change up the topic of discussion? Because I'm curious
Sure.
to get your thoughts on something. Well, what do you think about this Monday night football game coming up with the Eagles at Green Bay? I mean, we know the Packers just lost at home to the Panthers, possibly looking past them to this game. It does seem like the Packers play better against good teams and not as good against bad teams. What are your thoughts on this game?
That's going to be a tough game for Green Bay to win. I just see that they added some things. They added to the defense. They added to the offense. They got rid of some people that they needed to get rid of. And Fred, I agree. I think that's going to be one hell of a game, though, overall. But it really depends on that Green Bay defense. Because let's face it, Micah Parsons, while he had tackles for loss and he had some tackles in the game, you know what it was for the first time in his career versus the Panthers, an O-line that struggled with giving up pressures. He had 0 pressures, absolutely none.
Yeah, I
I
think
think the Packers only lost to the Panthers because of their shitty uniforms they wore.
Oh, dude, those were, I'll tell you what, good call, Billy. And I was actually talking to some Packers fans about that. Dude, those uniforms are hideous. They really need to burn them and never wear them
I,
again. Like, and
I
I'm not
do
just
like
saying
the
it because I'm a
helmet.
Bears fan. Those things are
I,
disgusting.
I did like the helmet. I hated the uniform.
Dude.
I think that leatherhead look from the old days was kind of cool. That's just me. But the uniforms were awful. The only
Burn
one
'em.
worse than that was the Eastern State Penitentiary Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. That's the only one
Burn
worse
'em.
than this. And last year it was the bomb popsicle New York Giants uniforms. They were awful. You know what I'm
Well,
talking about?
the New York Giants ones, I'm not picturing in my head. I really don't know what you're
That
talking about.
last
I
year
have to
they
look
had
them
those
up.
red. They were red, white, and blue, and they were striped this way like a bomb pop. And then they had
Yeah.
yellow pants with it that looked like the stick to a bomb pop. I call them the bomb pop.
Oh, damn. That sounds very Marylandish. Um, Yeah, but the
They're
Packers, I
crazy.
mean, losing Kraft, dude, he was their best receiving target, in my opinion.
Yeah,
He was their clutch guy. Damn, that's a big loss for them. That's a huge loss for them.
I do too. I think that is a very huge loss. If you're on X and you can't get your comments in, switch over to YouTube, either to my channel, Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions, or the Huddle Sports Network app. Join us. We love seeing your comments. It's important. Make sure you hit the like on your way out of whatever platform you're watching on, except of course on the Huddle Sports app on your TV. The only Bears jersey I like is their orange one, broski. It reminds me a lot of the
I'll tell you
Broncos.
what.
That orange one is
Yeah, I'll tell you
it's
what.
nice.
You know what I'm really hoping for, JB? When the Bears get their new stadium, whenever that is, I don't know if it'll happen. I don't know if they'll even break ground like before 2030, the way they're going. Anyway, I want new uniforms for the Bears. I'm kind of just tired of seeing that fucking orange sea. I really am. Like I think they just need a whole fresh new start when they get into their fresh new stadium. I think that would just be a great organizational like way to kind of just step into this millennium.
And that C, how many times have I said it looked like a toilet bowl with a spike on the back of it?
You know, I never heard that until a Lions fan told me that a couple of years ago, and yeah, it kind of does. I ain't gonna lie, it kind of does. No, it does.
I mean, there it is. That's a toilet seat.
But it's just like, yeah. But
I had to. Sorry. But
oh, dude, it's fine.
what if
Man.
you
It's
know what
whatever.
if they want to keep that seat, they need to do like the Cubs did the one year and put a bear in the middle of it. Remember they put the little bear cub in like the Cub uniform in the middle of their seat that one year?
Huh?
They could do something
There's a
like that.
thought.
A bear's head. Just something
Well,
different.
Yeah, it's something different. Like honestly, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was going to say at least they don't have a blonde guy in French braids as their mascot though. Referring to
Uh,
the Vikings mascot.
right. I think the best logo I've ever seen of the Vikings is right here. The crying Viking. I think it's great.
Yeah, and your other Vikings one that you say it's skull. It's like saying but with something in your mouth. Yeah, that's a good
That
one
one.
too.
That one.
Yeah, that one cracks me up.
Yeah. Or the cracked out elf. Yeah, the Cleveland Browns with Brownie the elf. That was hilarious. I can't believe they actually put that logo on the field last year for a game. Remember that at midfield they put Brownie the elf up there? Like, what the hell is that? Yeah, that's basically what we were saying, Billy Tortolot. I believe that's how you say your name. If I'm saying it wrong, please correct me. But if they want to leave the sea, add the bear in the middle of it. Add like a bear face, like a growling bear face to it. I think it would make it pop more. I think it would actually look better. And then maybe not have the dark blue on the helmet anymore. That way it stands out more. Oh,
But yeah, JB, what else you got, man? What else do we want to
ah,
talk about football wise?
let me go and look at these topics real quick. I came up with
Let's look at
the
some
pan.
comments.
Hey, the Carolina did it again. They got rid of a hooker,
Yeah, yeah.
and then Hooker was released from the practice squad.
Yeah, I'm very dialed in with the Panthers. I actually have some. I go on some Panthers podcasts as well.
I
Yeah, they
normally
got rid of
listen.
Hooker. I mean, he never even got a shot. Like, and Canales is like a quarterback guy. You know what I mean. So it's yeah, Hooker's just not it, man. He's really just not NFL acumen. He's not, in my opinion.
I just wanted to see what they could do with them for a whole season with Canales
Yeah,
working with them. He didn't even want to go the whole season. That tells you everything. When
yeah,
a QB
yeah.
whisperer fires you, when a QB whisperer says, "Hey, get rid of this guy. We don't need him," that's a sign you got to go.
Exactly, especially as bad as Andy Dalton played as a backup when he got his chance. It's like, and then you got a younger guy, like solid arm and everything, and it's like, yeah, they don't even give him 2 months, or it's like, yeah, that's a red flag, big time.
Broski, how do you feel about the Miami All Black uniforms with the orange in it? They need to quit that. Oh yeah, Cam Little.
Yeah,
There's a big one. That was a big kick he made for the Jags, and he could have made it from about 75.
bro, that
68
guy
yards.
killed it,
He's
and
a
that's
machine.
that's that's another that's another thing. Like, dude, the Bears brought in Moody. He kicked so well for him for a couple games. I mean,
And
he's
then
got the leg, dude. Like, get Santos out of town. Like, why are we doing this song and dance with the kicker? You actually found a good one, or a guy who seems like he could have a rejuvenated career with an actual leg strength, and you're going with Santos. God
but
damn,
but he misses
painful.
in that range. He misses in that range. Moody hit struggles between 30 and 40 yards.
Well, my point
Santos
is with the
great.
Bears. With the Bears, he was doing well though, and it's just like, change of scene. Who knows? But all I can say is this: Santos, they really need to move on from him quickly.
And I think let Moody work on that range that he's struggling with and maybe run the dual kicker system like the one team did. Remember, there was a team where they had a guy that was really good close and really good long, but they couldn't hit the middle one. So they had a second kicker just for the middle kick. That was one season. And everybody's like, well, that's a wasted roster spot. I said, guess what? If you look overall, they only had one missed field goal all season, and they won most of their close games that season. No, I doubt it. I don't even think we're trading away Jamison Williams. Everybody's sitting there and saying, "Oh, they signed him to trade him." It's like that makes no sense. He's got a 5th-year option next year, and if you look at Aiden Hutchinson's contract, yes, next year he gets a total of $38 million. Do you know how much it is against the cap? 10, because of the 5th-round pick, the 5th-year option. It counts nothing against the cap. He's just getting a bunch of bonus money and incentive money. So I don't get the hate right now how they think that these moves are going to hurt next year, because it doesn't. Those guys are on 5th-year options next year. It just astounds me how people look at the big number and doesn't pay attention to the actual cap number. You know what I mean, broski?
Say, JB,
The actual cap number is what matters. That's what counts against the cap, not the total salary, is what I'm getting at. Every year you see this,
correct.
this guy's making 26 million or 38 million.
Mm.
And then you look at the cap number and it's way less because they're on their 5th-year option. It's just bonus money they threw in to entice them to sign
Yeah.
the contract.
Yeah, I mean, there's it doesn't take a magician to manipulate the cap. I mean, there's so many ways to do it. For sure.
Okay. Now, Stanford, you're talking about another animal because they've been struggling with recruiting over the past few years. Frank Reich, it was just brought in with Andrew Luck because Frank Reich knows Andrew Luck, or Andrew Luck knows Frank Reich. Andrew Luck being the GM has helped them with their NIL deals to improve the team, but it had so many holes, it's going to take a couple of years to get there. I don't know if they keep Frank Reich past this year because it was a 1-year contract.
Oh, Frank Reich's the head coach of Stanford? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And Andrew Luck is the
And-
GM handling all the
Oh,
NIL,
wow.
the booster stuff, and player acquisition money and all that stuff.
I didn't know that. I really didn't. I mean, I follow college. I don't follow because Stanford's they're in the ACC now, aren't they?
I believe so.
Yeah.
They're struggling.
Yeah. So
And I expected it because, like I said, they had way too many holes to fill, and 1 year isn't enough to do it in college.
yeah, I'm more like Big Ten focused, but I mean, based on where I live, I mean, it's all SEC teams around me and ACC teams. So I definitely, you know, the Southern teams, I definitely follow as well.
But as far as college is concerned, I said 9 wins top for the Michigan Wolverines, and it's looking exactly like that. Because what do we have? We have 2 losses right now, and yes, they were horrible, but we have 2. And what can I say? I can't defend it. We lost to Texas and we lost to Nebraska, was it, or was it the other one? I can't remember. One of those teams we lost to. We beat the rest of them, and we got Penn State this weekend, I believe. Who has an
Yeah.
interim
So
coach.
I mean, I do follow college a lot this year. After that loss to UCLA, I
Oh yeah,
was like, all right, I'll peek at the Northwestern game, and then they lost at home to freaking North. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I just started kind of watching other teams' games again last week. I can't. Yeah, I'm just so disheartened right now. I'll pick it up again next year, but yeah, there's a lot of it's a fun year for college though because there are a lot of teams that typically aren't in the top, 10, top 25 that are this year. And that Mendoza kid on Indiana's having a hell of a season, man. He looks like that traditional, 6'5" pocket passer, nice arm, type of guy. To me, he's the best QB prospect right now. But I don't know if he's necessarily going to come into the draft right now.
yeah. He might stay another year because he's making really good NIL money,
Yeah.
and everybody forgets that. There's that option. And here's the thing: is if they leave before 4 years and they go to the NFL, do you realize they still get half their NIL money for the next year or 2 years that they have left on their NIL deal? Just like that's why Caleb Williams was getting an additional $12 million last season because it was the last year of his NIL deal
Last season, he got $12 million from NIL.
from Subway. Yeah,
Oh shit! I didn't know that. Yeah. I mean, I knew when he was in college, he made 28 mil before he was even drafted. So,
Yeah, and the next year was supposed to be 24 million when he was drafted. So he got half of that from Subway. That's why
oh
he was
wow,
still
I
doing
didn't know
Subway
that.
commercials. That's why he still had to do Subway commercials because he wasn't playing at USC.
Not because he likes to put long tubular things in his mouth. Not that's not the reason.
It could be
Long
that.
tube shaped object.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I got rid of that one. You know what I'm talking about. Eating corn the long way. I got rid of that one.
Yeah, this is a kid's show. I forgot. My bad.
Oh, I wanted to turn it into a meme where it was moving and it would be going in and out of his mouth and play that famous song that my people like.
Okay, a little too graphic there, JB. A little too graphic.
Hey, but that being said, it is about time I get out of here. I do have to be to work in a half hour. So I want to say thank you, Broski, for jumping in. I love talking football with you. Tune in tonight, 9:30 p.m. We start the NFL Roundtable Talk. My record this year is actually pretty good on Pick'em. I'm 81-49 after week 9 Pick'ems. I went 9-5. So I'm not going to complain where I'm at because that's a pretty good percentage. What's that, almost 75%?
Well, JB, man, always a pleasure talking football with you, and have a great rest of your day, my man.
Yep. And try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way the world makes a better place. It starts right here. Yes. Oh, God, somebody gets it. From our sponsor in Flint. Yes, that's where I work. It's Brandon's Tires. You know, they sponsor my show. Let's put this up because I don't have that picture anymore of the van that everybody loves. But I will say this. We're live out of Flint where the water's shit. The tires are good. Thank you, Broski. But try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. It is what it is. Fred. Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires in Whitey Morgan is good. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Share it in all your football pages you belong to, because I'm not above talking other teams' football. I like giving realistic expectations. That Bears defense does need to shore up. They could have used somebody like Quinnen Williams, but they aren't just Quinnen Williams away. I think they need a little better depth outside of Edwards and Edmonds at linebacker. I think they need a little more depth in the secondary because every time someone's injured, they give up more yards. Their safety room is good. Just like the Lions safety room when healthy is good. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you tonight.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.